Morning, everyone. I'm Greg Ferenstein. I'm the policy writer for TechCrunch, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Mayor Ed Lee and superstar investor Ron Conway. And we're here to talk about tech policy, and specifically local tech policy in San Francisco. So we just came off of a talk, but Mayor Ed Lee, I know you have one policy in particular, a proposition that you think is incredibly important to the vitality of the tech industry in our area. What is it? Explain it briefly and why it's important.
Well, the alphabet it's on for the ballot is Proposition E.
Proposition E, like
and it
elephant.
is to replace the current tax system that we have, which is a payroll tax system,
Okay.
which tech companies and any company for that matter that is intense on its labor aspect of it would want to change the payroll tax into a gross receipts tax.
Gotcha.
And it's simply a fair tax system. It doesn't punish people for creating the jobs that we need, and that's why we put it on, and it was after months of intense work with all the different industries in the city that we came to this consensus approach that was 100% honored by the Board of Supervisors. Every one of the 11 supervisors agreed with me that this is ready to go, is best thing that we could do for the city.
And so if I'm a startup, how's it going to help me directly?
Well, when you start up in the city, instead of us taxing the number of employees that you hire, we will tax you when you become successful and when your gross revenue starts coming in. That's when we tax you, not when you're trying to grow and start up to get successful. So that's a big difference.
And the likelihood that this is going to pass is high.
Very strong, because we've got the whole business community behind it. We have residents that understand, after the last year of understanding how this growth has helped, 32,000 jobs as a result of 1,600 technology companies in the city growing at a pace of about 30% every year. And these jobs, I mean, I don't care what—
Solid numbers in a recession.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what convention you went to. Everybody in the country is talking about this, but we're actually doing it here in San Francisco. We're actually implementing programs that create jobs, and people know that, and they're excited about it, and so am I.
We've built a great
Ron.
coalition around voting yes on Prop E, but it only wins if people go out and vote. And that's why we are focusing SF City's efforts on getting people to register to vote and then vote yes on E.
Okay, so they'll be seeing a lot more people around Market Street and others trying to get them to vote.
Oh, will you ever? Yes.
Okay, good to know.
And this also helps small business. So the biggest beneficiaries here are the small businesses in San Francisco and the tech community.
And I'd also say anybody that wants to make things and manufacture things in the city are going to be beneficial, because that's labor intensive as well. And we want to—
And the ratio of employees to revenue is really quite small.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, quite large.
Are large.
So, Ron, you're in the trenches, you're in the investment, you talk to startups every day, you're an investor yourself. If you had a magic wand, what federal, state, or local policies would you want in place to make the tech industry stronger? Mayor, feel free to answer this as well.
Two things come to mind. H-1B visa reform.
Okay,
And
high-skilled
immigration reform
Okay.
in general, what's called the DREAM Act.
Okay.
Those are the two biggest things that would impact the tech community. And we're hoping that the new Congress, that they make progress on those two very, very crucial issues.
Okay.
Locally, it's Prop E.
Gotcha. And just to inform our readers, there may be a high-skilled immigrant bill coming up in the next Congress before the election. That's to end the country-specific caps on immigration. So China doesn't have the same number of immigrants that it can bring in as Iceland. And we're hoping that will pass, or many are hoping that will pass, but we'll see.
The beauty of this, where you say we hope it will pass,
yeah.
I feel much more optimistic about that after the wake-up call that the tech community got on SOPA and PIPA. That galvanized all of the tech community to build a coalition around that issue, and all the people that were active on that have stayed together, so that when bills like this come up, that hopefully aren't even as divisive as SOPA PIPA was, we can let Congress know that this is important to the tech community.
I mean, how do you, I mean, a lot of, especially, when I write about politics and government for TechCrunch, I get a lot of readers who tell me, why do I have to care about this? This is a politics issue. I'm a tech guy. Why should the people you invest in care about policy?
Well, locally, in the case of Proposition E, it will save tech companies millions of dollars a year in payroll taxes when it shifts to gross receipts. The beauty of tech companies is they reinvest in their business. Every nickel that these tech companies save in payroll taxes, they're going to use to fill more jobs in San Francisco. And all that does is help the prosperity and the living conditions in San Francisco.
Okay. And I agree with Ron about his ideas for a magic wand, and I also have an additional one that has to do with policy.
Okay.
Technology company success, it's people and the innovative aspects of people who have great ideas. And I think that federal and state government have to invest in the education. If we can have that talent here in the United States, we wouldn't have to be recruiting across the world, but we need to make that much bigger investment. And this is where policy comes into direct play. Because if we're not investing properly in education, if we're reducing the cost of college and tuition, if we're not investing in our public schools, we're not going to reap that talent of our kids. And so we're going to always be challenged, and the tech companies are already showing that they've got to do even more intensive recruiting. We can create that talent right here in San Francisco if we invest properly, and that's a policy call. It's one where city mayors like me have to make sure I'm doing the right thing in supporting our improvements in our public schools and reducing the barriers to college education, making sure our residents benefit from that. And we're doing that right now with Ron Conway and SF City. They're investing in the training programs that we have, and we've got a federal grant to do that. We need more of that to happen.
Another big issue is housing. As we create more jobs in San Francisco, we need affordable housing for the entry-level jobs that are so important.
Gotcha.
And there's another Proposition C on the ballot in November to create a housing trust that the mayor is also supporting.